Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Clown Control Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for June 2023. This is definitely an old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck that has definitely been overlooked in the many years to come with all the different support we've had for Yu-Gi-Oh! But the purpose of, Clown Control is, just like the name says, to control the battle positions of the different clown monsters that you have in the deck, to be able to then destroy or return to the hand your opponent's different monsters. It's definitely a lockdown playstyle that focuses on heavy back row to protect your clown monsters that you have on the field, but also being able to make use of other trap cards that can change the battle positions of your clown monsters on the field to then activate their many different card effects and then just take care of your opponent's monsters with them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the actual clown monsters. There aren't really too many clown monsters that you want to run in the deck, but we're running 3 copies of Dream Clown, one of our go-to. If this attack position card is changed to face-up defense, target one monster your opponent controls and destroy that target. So all you have to do is switch Dream Clown to defense position, and you can destroy one of their monsters. There are traps in this deck that can help with that setup, just being able to normal summon out your Dream Clown, and if you have one of those cards, to have the battle position change for your Dream Clown, you can then disrupt your opponent's monster when they just summon out one monster on the field thanks to this card. The other main clown that we run in the deck is Crass Clown. If this defense position card is changed to attack position, target one monster your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. So they both vary in level and the type of monster they both are as well. But the main play that differs is you can destroy monsters that you want to destroy with Dream Clown, and then not have to worry about destroyed by a card effect, card abilities. And then Crass Clown can bounce monsters and returning it to the hand, meaning if you were to switch your Crass Clown to attack position, you can then just bounce an extra deck monster your opponent controls back to their hand, and then having both of the different clowns on the field just means for more and more shenanigans for you to stop your opponent's cards. Now, sort of a way to help with those playstyles is 2 copies of Ryukushin Clown. When this card is summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field and change its battle position. So with Ryukushin Clown, you can just easily change the clown monster's positions on the field without having to rely on trap cards on the field. Also, just when this card's summoned, targeting a face-up monster on the field and changing its battle position. So even if you don't change your opponent's, your main play is to change your own clown monsters. So then if you just summon out Ryukushin Clown, one of your other ones on the field, switching its battle position, you can then activate the effect of the clown card as well, thanks to this card. And I also run, this is just to fit the theme, I would say, more than anything, if you wanted to put an actual card in the place of Clown Zombie, which is just a normal monster with 1350 attack and 0 defense, you can put in Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, any hand trap of choice in this position here. Like I said, once again, just to fit the aesthetic of the deck, I wanted to run 3 Clown Zombie, because like I said, there aren't too many clown cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, but still a pretty good one to use, with the last position being our Perform Mage Trick Clown, with this card just being a special summon. You don't really use life points for anything in the deck, so just being able to have a card when sent to the graveyard to special summon back as a resource can also help for us to go for some extra deck plays, whether they be for Xyz plays or for Link plays using this card, and then being able to pay 1,000 life points to special summon it back onto the field, gives us more options for our extra deck, while also being able to then summon back our clown monsters with some of the other cards that are in the deck, and then change their battle position on the following turn. That is it for the main deck monsters. We do run a low monster count just because the main play relies on just getting 1 copy of each of the clowns we have on the field and then utilizing them for their own play styles. You don't really need multiples of either one. So for the spells, we run 3 copies of Allure of Darkness for more of the draw power as well. This works with the fact that we do run Clown Zombie as more of a fodder for the Allure of Darkness draw-wise to banish and then get to the more important clowns that we need for the actual engine. And also with running multiple copies as well, we run the 2 copies of Pot of Desires for drawing into the needed cards. The main key is just getting that 1 key clown card to use and then drawing into some other key cards to help protect those clowns while on the field. And also 2 copies of Double Summon. I really do like this card just for the playstyle it can do with your Ryukushin Clown as well, because you can summon out your Dream Clown, then normal summon out your Ryukushin Clown with your Double Summon, switching the battle position of your Dream Clown, and then you have a pop effect of one of your opponent's cards right then and there with this play. with the other spells being 1 copy of Foolish Burial and the 1 Call by the Grave. Now, the Foolish Burial can also help to set up whatever clown you need in your graveyard to special summon it back onto the field, or just sending your Perform Mage Trick Clown to the graveyard to spend 1,000 life points to summon it back onto the field. Moving on now to the traps, which are the good majority of the cards we use for the rest of the deck, and just the overall protection for our clown cards. Running 3 copies of Labyrinth of Nightmare. Once per turn during the end phase, change the battle position of all face-up monsters the turn player controls. So, even if you don't change the battle positions of your opponent's monsters, let's say they have a Link monster that can't change its battle position, your big play here is to change the battle positions of your clown cards. Whether they are both in attack position, let's say, and they change to defense, you'll at least be getting 1 effect of the clown card. And then also, during the following turn, if you don't switch them yourself, you could do it again the next turn. At the end of the turn, it has to be your own turn, so remember that. So if they switch and then they still remain on the field the following turn, you can switch them back, activating the appropriate clown needed for that battle position change, and then bouncing an opponent's card. And then at the end of the turn again, Labyrinth of Nightmare will activate, switching the defense, then activating the other clown that didn't resolve already. For this next position, you can debate whether you want to run Zero Gravity or Curse of Anubis. So your Zero Gravity changes the battle position of all face-up monsters in the field. So once again, can just swap the cards, including your opponent's. Curse of Anubis, all face-up effect monsters are changed to defense position, and their defense are 0. So it's another way to use it. But still, I would prefer maybe Zero Gravity, because it can just switch all face-up monsters on the field, changing the battle positions of them, depending on what they were. But it's player preference if you want to run 2 Curse of Anubis or 2 Zero Gravity for this spot here. I also run the 3 copies of There Can Only Be One. Now, this card doesn't really hurt you as much in this deck because you can only control 1 monster of each type, and with that play, your Dream Clown is a warrior monster, and your Crass Clown is a fiend monster. So then you have both of the added options in the deck for you to use for their plays on the field, limiting your opponent if they're running a deck with multiples of the same type of card, and then using both of these cards on the field without having any restrictions thanks to There Can Only Be One. The same premise with Summon Limit. This card will hurt your opponent more for their play setup than your actual plays. With 2 summons per turn, you really only need 1 to get one of the preferred clowns on the field, and then go from there for the rest of the plays, limiting your opponent so they can only summon a couple monsters at a time while you protect your own cards, and then also take out their own thanks to your own clown effects. Now, I also run 2 copies of Call the Haunted and 2 copies of Back to the Front. These are both in here specifically for the monster needed to change the battle position the following turn. So you will use Back to the Front to special summon out your Crass Clown, because then on the following turn you can switch it to attack position. And then the Call the Haunted is for the Dream Clown, because then same play on the following turn you can switch Dream Clown to defense position, and then gain both of the card effects depending on which trap card you used for each respectively. Or if you already have them on the field, you can summon back Ryukushin Clown and then change their battle position regardless of which card you use to summon out Ryukushin Clown, and then change the battle position of that other clown monster. With the final trap lineup for the deck being 2 copies of Solemn Strike and 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. More back row protection for your cards, but also if you have to get around some particular monsters where, the battle position can't be affected for them with your other traps, you can use Solemn Strike to stop those, or when they try and activate an effect monster effect. And then moving on now to the extra deck, I run 1 copy of Underclock Taker, 1 Mrs. Radiant, 1 Asa the Earth Charmer, 1 Dark to the Dark Charmer, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 Nightmare Cerberus for all of the Link 2 monsters. And for the higher Link monsters, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn and 1 Appaloosa. And for the Xyz monsters, 1 Dante. It helps to set up more cards in the graveyard for us to summon back, 1 Alucard, along with 1 Leviair, 1 Daigusto Morale for the special summon if we are going to stick with the Clown Zombie play, giving us a resource back onto the field to summon out. And then the 1 Dark Rebellion, 1 Gagaga Cowboy, and the 1 Tornado Dragon for the remainder of the extra deck monsters. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, I already spoke of them before, but all you need is that 1 summon of your clown monster on the field, and then the initial setup of your back row. That is what the clown control playstyle is meant to utilize. If your opponent tries to attack over your clown and does destroy it, that is what the additional traps for special summoning those monsters back on the field. So they may try and go for that additional damage. At the end of the turn, you will then activate your Call the Haunted, summoning back your clown onto the field, and then you'll have both of the disruption cards moves to stop any other plays they may try to do on the following turn. And then when it comes around to your turn, you just switch the position of your clown of choice and then destroy your opponent's monster. Or if you have the respected clown on the field, know what play to go for, because then you can also have the setup with cards like the Labyrinth of Nightmare on the field, being able to change the battle position of your card. So let's say you have the play with your Ryukushin clown. If you already switched the Dream clown, you could switch it with Ryukushin clown and then have the additional play to then switch it back to attack position, and then the end of the turn using Labyrinth of Nightmare for one additional destruction play, since it's not a once per turn. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. It was just a quick little deck profile for an old school deck that definitely hasn't gotten a lot of light as of recently, but I hope you all enjoyed. It's a really awesome deck to consider looking into. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.